Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Blu-ray edition of Flash Gordon. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, Flash Gordon in 4K Blu-ray from Arrow Video, and as far as my history with the movie goes, I saw this one maybe once, and I think my dad had a VHS copy of the film, but it was not something I really latched onto on a sentimental level. You know, I was more into Star Wars and Star Trek and those sort of things. So like the B-movie aspect of Flash Gordon, I never really appreciated when I was younger. It wasn't until I got a little older that I grew to appreciate the film a little bit more, and just, you know, it's just the overall, you know, scope of what we have here on screen, and I really I dig it. It's just a lot of fun. It's just one of those that you go back to. The costuming is just amazing in this, really it is, and just Sam Jones in the title role is spectacular. He's really good. Max von Sydow is also really good as Ming, and of course a great cast, Timothy Dalton. I mean, just such a good overall, just fun cast here, and it looked like they were having fun making the movie. But yeah, so we're going to talk about the picture quality and audio in just a moment, but first let's do a quick unboxing of the 4K. Okay, we have the Arrow Video Flash Gordon 4K edition here with slipcover, and as you can see, the front and the back, all that information, and the spine, and then interior, so front and back. Some artwork on the disc, always appreciate that. No Blu-ray copies included here, so alright, now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Flash Gordon has an aspect ratio of 2:3:5, so it does have those black bars on top and bottom of your screen. It also supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision for the grading, and for purposes of this review, I'll be talking about the Dolby Vision encode. So, how does it look? Let's start with film grain. I think it's appropriate levels here. It looks good throughout the movie, and I didn't feel there were any blotchy areas. In fact, it's probably the cleanest film grain that this type of movie from around the 80s can really just, you know, have on display. I think it looks good. No problems in that area. Now, for Dolby Vision, how does it look? I think it looks really good. Now, red being a main component or a color here, I think it looks very nice. It doesn't look like it's blown out, even though there's plenty of opportunity for it to have that danger of happening. I think it's consistent and it looks good. Overall color palette is just really on point here. Everything from costuming just really looks spectacular. Just the various set pieces, they all stand out really well, and just even the special effects, so as dated as they look and a little bit on the cheesy side sometimes, it still looks good for this type of movie, and I think the Dolby Vision really brings out those color aspects. Level of detail also gets a nice significant bump up. It's not going to be intimately detailed. Even the close-up shots are not, you know, you're not going to see every pore, every, you know, strand of hair. But I think for what we get, especially with costuming, the locations, I think it does a fine job there. Black levels are good. Believe it or not, there's not a whole lot going on as far as, you know, nighttime shots here. I think for the most part, the color is a real standout here. Dolby Vision looks great, and I think the appropriate level of film grain really round out the overall good picture quality presentation of Flash Gordon. For the 4K, Flash Gordon, it supports a DTS 5.1, and I think for the most part, it really does a nice job. What we get here is, there's a lot of quieter moments, but there's a very dialogue-heavy driven kind of performances throughout the movie. The music cues from Queen and the overall score, they really fill the room, and they do so very nicely. Now, I would say the climax of the film with the big battle with the Hawkman against Ming and his forces, I think that's the strongest aspect here of the DTS 5.1. It really brings the soundstage alive. Dialogue comes through, for the most part, pretty clean and clear in the center channels. I thought I could detect a little bit of bleed over onto the left or the right speakers on occasion. The front speakers, they do a lot of the heavy lifting here, and they sound great. A lot of the action moments are really done well, and it's very serviceable as far as the fronts go. The rear speakers, they sound good. Once again, Queen's music, the score, some of the action scenes in the climax really stand out, and they really just kind of elevate those particular speaker placements, and they sound really good. I think for the most part, it's a good action-driven kind of immersive mix, but on the quieter moments, not so much. The LFE, I feel, is very good. It's a pretty okay mix. What we get here is a lot of complementary, LFE action. It's not very heavy. It's not overly aggressive, but it does have its moments, and it comes out pretty much, when it needs to. The action-heavy moments towards the climax of the film really bring it out, give you that nice little thump and thunder. Also, some of those heavier beats from Queen's music come into play here, and it really just, I think it brings all of the 5.1 together, and it really just kind of just accentuates that good overall presentation. Audio mix here on Flash Gordon is really good. It's not perfect. I think Atmos might have really just kind of elevated things even further, but for what we get here, I think it's very pleasant. For the picture quality of the 4K of Flash Gordon, I'm going to give this one an A-. I think film grain is nice and appropriate. The Dolby Vision really brings out the colors. Detail gets also a nice bump up, and it's, for the age of the film and the quality of the film, I think it just really looks good, and it's never looked better in my opinion. For the audio presentation of Flash Gordon on 4K, I'm going to give this one a B+. I think it's a pretty strong DTS 5.1. It's not overly aggressive. Dialogue comes through pretty good. The action-heavy moments are probably the standouts. Queen's music, the score really fill the room, and the LFE is somewhat, mid-level aggressiveness. Very good overall presentation. So that is my review of Flash Gordon on 4K. Let me know in the comments section below if you picked up this movie and what do you think of the 4K. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.